Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I continue answering questions about medical sales that I received from you guys, from my audience. And I received a few questions about the dress code for females in the medical sales field. I actually thought it was an easy question, but then I gave it a little bit more thought. And I want to say, dear ladies, I think we all understand that we are still working in a quite male-dominated field. And in this type of industry, we still have less room for mistake in comparison to our male counterparts. But to be honest, personally speaking, I do not believe in full equality anyway. And that's okay, because I think we should look at it from a positive angle. I look at it from a positive angle. But this rule applies to the dress code as well. And we need to be much more careful in the way how we present ourselves. And today I will talk about 3 dress codes: day-to-day, surgical suite or and conferences. And I think the most important thing is to remember is how do we want people to perceive us when we go and talk to our customers, when we go and talk about business. Just keep that in mind when you put your wardrobe together. And before I continue talking more about it, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and leave me comments and questions. Okay, so let's talk about the dress code for females in medical sales. Well, again, as I mentioned, the key rule is to remember, what is the goal for you? How do you want to be perceived by the external world, by the people you're interacting with? My cultural background and in general how I dress up, I prefer to dress up more than less. So if I'm not sure what to wear, I'd rather wear more formal, dressier, more business than less. I always choose business over casual and dressy over casual. So day-to-day wardrobe should be professional. It should look relatively formal because you are running a business, you are a representative, you need to represent the company and the product, but it also needs to be functional. What do I mean by saying functional? It needs to be comfortable because you need to be ready to sustain a long work day. It can be anywhere from, 5 to 12 hours sometimes. And especially if you need to drive somewhere, it can be much longer, right? So I'd say functional, comfortable is my priority, but it needs to look professional. For example, I would suggest to avoid wearing high heels unless you're very comfortable walking in them for many, many hours in a day. Because if I need to run from one part of the hospital to another, I don't wear high heels for that. I usually wear professional shoes with relatively mid-size stable heels, so I can actually sustain longer period of walking. Same with driving. I would also suggest to keep a pair of runners in your trunk, in your car at all times, again for your driving, and it is also very important to have them for your surgical suite presence. And I'll talk more about it later. When it comes to day-to-day wardrobe, I choose pantsuits. And I also like to wear pants with different types of blouses because I choose functionality. I rarely wear skirts or dresses. I think they're not functional for me. I don't know. I know some of my colleagues, they're a little bit different. They like to wear skirts and dresses. It's just not my choice. And the reason why, I can tell you why. I choose pants over skirts because I know that sometimes my job requires me to lift a box of products and deliver something or bring something from my car to the hospital. It's just, again, convenience, functionality. That's #1 priority for me. And this is where you need to think about it. What is it required from your role, from the products that you sell? Do you need to lift anything? Do you need to bring anything? And think about any type of malfunction you can have with your wardrobe, anything that can prevent you from certain moves. That's what I would suggest to do. I also have my purse with me at all times, which has my laptop, my tablet, brochures, my notepads, pens, and even samples sometimes in my purse. So it's a relatively sizable purse, again, professional looking. And I also like to throw my runners into my purse when I know I'm going to the surgical suite. And as I mentioned before, this is why I would suggest to have one pair of runners with you at all times, at least in your car, just in case you need to take them. Because when you go to surgical suites, you always would wear comfortable shoes. You would not walk in high heels. You need to be mindful of that because obviously you will go and change into the scrubs. Scrubs are usually provided by the hospital. Some hospitals if they do not provide scrubs, maybe your company or you will have a set that you'll bring with you. So it's very simple when it comes to surgical environment, just scrubs and runners. Comfortable, something you can run around and stand on for quite a long period of time in the surgical suite. One thing to remember about the OR and surgical suites is actually accessories and jewelry. I would avoid to wear anything large, any sizable jewelry, because very often you will be asked to remove all the jewelry and all the accessories, so you don't have anything. It's just done for the purposes of keeping the room clean. So day to day, I would not recommend to wear anything heavy, anything large, anything that you can, first of all, forget if you remove it, and second of all, anything people can pick on and it can distract people. Like, I like quite sizable watches, but even then I quite often remove them when I go into surgical suite because it's just easier and you just don't want to have anything heavy. You just scrubs, runners, that's it. And obviously you remove your hair, you cover them up always. It's just the overall dress code for the surgical suite. Well, then the last one is conferences. I think conferences is where we can actually have fun, and this is where women have more room to play. So first of all, always find out what is the dress code for the conference you're going to. Is it a formal business or it's business casual? Because I think that will allow you to prepare better and choose your wardrobe accordingly. If it's business casual, I still avoid wearing jeans. That's a no-no for me. I don't think it looks professional. You can definitely tone it down. You don't have to be as formal if it's business casual, but I would avoid wearing jeans or, again, any type of sports attire. That's not appropriate. And I would always choose to go a little bit more business, a little bit more up, just because I like to feel more professional. It gives me confidence. I feel better. I know I'm perceived more serious by people, so I choose business pretty much at all times. But when it comes to receptions, dinners, any other events after the formal part of the conference, definitely a little bit more room to play with. Dresses are, you can wear any type of dresses, maybe not gowns, but any type of dress. High heels, makeup, jewelry, there is no rule, but one thing to always remember is how do you want to be perceived by your customers? What is your image that you're trying to create with your wardrobe? Because I think it's very important, especially in business world. So I would encourage to think about that at all times when you work in this field. But rather than that, I hope I answered your question. Please let me know, what do you think? Maybe you think something else. Leave your comments, leave your questions underneath this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.